Have you seen our brand new Fat Quarter book? Well, today we're going to give you some tips and tricks for using these patterns. Keep watching. Hi, it's Donna Robertson with Fabric Cafe. We are so excited about our new book, Fat Quarter Quilt Treats. And we have lots of great information in this book. Today it's going to be stepping you through some of the things that you will need to know about making these quilts. We're going to start off with the general instructions right up front. This is a very important section. I call it the meat and taters, because you want to be able to know all of these little details that are going to help you to produce even better quilts. So we're going to start off by talking about the light, medium, and dark. We use light, medium, and dark for most of the different quilts as we go through in selecting your fabrics. And then we also use focus and medium and dark. So you'll just pay attention to those little squares, and that's just to help you see where your fabric goes. It will correspond with the picture beside it. We also give you the enlargement instructions. So you're going to be making either a baby or a lap to get started. And then you can also make a twin or a king queen. Now, if you're buying kits, you'll need one kit. A kit has 12 fat quarters. If you are going to make it into a twin, you'll need 2 kits. And if you make it into a king queen, you need 4 kits. And when you buy 3 kits, you can get a book free. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the cutting diagrams. We're going to go through this in more detail, but you'll notice a little gray area on the bottom of the cutting diagrams and sometimes on the side. Now, that gray area is actually going to be a discard fabric. You won't be needing that, so you'll be cutting that off. So let's get started with the first quilt. Now, this one is called Prismatic, and I was playing with it, and it was a sunny day, and the light was coming through the window, and I just thought, I think I'll name this one Prismatic, because you always think about the sun coming through and breaking up into the different colors. So let's put that one up on the table. So when selecting your fat quarters for this particular quilt, you're going to be doing the light, the medium, and the dark. And if you are selecting fat quarters from your stash, you need to make sure that your fat quarters measure 18 by 21 before you trim off your selvages. The beginning of the book will have the fat quarter swatches on the side. This kind of helps you to see how we gauged our light, mediums, and darks to put into this quilt. Then you're going to look at your black and white diagram, and that black and white diagram corresponds with your light, medium, and dark. So it's really super simple and easy for you to pick out where you're going to put your light, mediums, and darks. Okay, so this particular quilt kit is called Batik Jewels. It's 8023039. The name of the pattern is Prismatic from the Fat Quarter Quilt Treats. Now, an alternative pattern is the Fat Quarter 4 patch, which will be included in your kit unless you choose to buy 3 kits and get the book free. Next up, we have Rhapsody. Now, this is the quilt. It's going to be your go-to quilt when you need a quick one. And I love the patchy, scrappy look to this particular one. It goes together very, very quickly. And let's put this up on the table. And I'm going to talk more about the diagrams and show you all of the little tips and tricks for cutting your fabrics. Now, again, we have our little color swatches over on the side, so that lets you see how we sorted into our light, mediums, and dark. And then we have our diagrams here, and these are going to show you exactly how to cut. And we will tell you from 1 light fat quarter, from 3 medium fat quarters, from 3 dark fat quarters. We sort it out, but all of these are going to be cut this way, and we are going to be cutting these blocks here. So that gives you exactly how to cut. Remember, I said you have the little gray area on the side or the bottom. Those are discard pieces. We always allow a little bit in case you have a fat quarter that is not cut square, so to speak. Then let's look at our fabrics here, and we have our lights, our medium, and our dark. And so these are scattered on the quilt. And as I said before, our black and white diagram will show you where lights, mediums, and darks go according to what we're recommending. Now, if you're picking out fat quarters for from your stash, we do want to point out to you that your fat quarters are going to be 21 inches by 18 inches. Now that does include that discard fabric that we've talked about. It also includes cutting off your selvages. But when you measure the ones straight out of your stash, make sure they're 21 by 18, because that's what we use when we're actually designing the fabrics. We have to have that specific measurement. Now let's talk about cutting into this particular one. We had our rectangles. We also have strips that we're going to cut. And as you can see, we have one here that is a little bit wider strip, but again, 2 light fat quarters. So we're going to show you how we cut these, and we've cut it out for you so that you can see how this is done. So this is the fat quarter, and we're actually cutting them into strip just like the diagram says. Then down on the bottom, we have this extra fabric that you won't be needing. So this is a discard fabric that you will not be needing to assemble the total quilt. This one is called Boho Escape 8023040. Rhapsody is your pattern. It's from the book Fat Quarter Quilting Treat, our brand new book that we're so excited about. And the alternate pattern is Patch Happy. And now we have Parisian. Parisian is a really fun one. And you know, in every book I always put an easy one. And then I like to put one in there that's just a little bit more challenging. But this one is not hard. It's just got a little bit more work entailed to do it. So let me show you how to simplify it and cut all of these pieces to make this gorgeous quilt. So we're going to start with this one. Again, this one is called Parisian. And again, we have the great colors down the side. Now, when we start looking at the diagrams, I showed you the easy strip piece method, but sometimes we need to make different cuts out of the fat quarters. So in this particular one, we're going to have some squares and some rectangles cut out. And once again, this is your discard fabric. You won't be using it to make this particular quilt. So let me put a fat quarter up here and show you how to get started with your strip piecing. So it's super easy to do. You're going to start off with your fat quarter, and again, they need to be 21 inches wide by 18 long, and we're going to cut our strips. Now you'll just cut the strips off just like this. You'll just keep cutting these strips, and you will end up with your strips and with your discard. Now I want to point out that in this particular case, we're going to take these. I'm going to move this back over to you, to the camera, so you can see we're going to have 2 of these strips. This strip and this strip need to be cut into squares. So let's put that over here, and I'm going to leave these on the table just so you can get the idea, because this is the same exact fat quarter, because in this particular case you're going to have 3 fat quarters, all lights, that you're going to cut this way. So we're cutting the green one, and then we're going to cut it exactly like we're doing here. So you can see that we have these strips, but we're going to take 2 of the strips, and those strips are going to be cut into these squares. This is discard over here from this long piece. So we're just going to be cutting these into squares like so. Then you're going to do something else with these down here. So we won't pay any attention to those. And we're going to put this over here. And now, this is the 3rd fat quarter. So we had the green, the blue, and now we're going to use the pink. They're all cut identical. We've got our little squares up here that we cut out of the first 2. But now the next 3 strips, we have our discards. These get cut into rectangles, just like that. So all 3 fat quarters are going to be cut into squares and rectangles with discard. So it's super simple and easy to do. Now let me put this down here, and we'll look at this diagram once again. Here's your squares, here's your rectangles, and there are your discards. Now let's look at the kit, and we have it in lights, mediums, and darks, and it's going to turn those 12 fat quarters into this gorgeous, gorgeous quilt. And remember, you can make a twin and a king queen as well. This one is called Fantastic Florals 8023038. It's Parisian. Fat Quarter Quilt Treats is the book, and the alternate pattern is Patch Happy. So all of those tips and tricks are going to be able to be used for every one of the patterns in the book. And if you didn't catch our introduction to the book, be sure to watch the video and you can see all of the beautiful quilts that are in there. So our new book is called Fat Quarter Quilt Treats, and you are going to love it. You can get it at fabriccafe.com, or remember, you can get it free when you buy 3 kits. So it's Donna Robertson with Fabric Cafe. Thanks for watching.